joining me for all the chat is Claire Pearsall, former Conservative government advisor. Good morning to you once again.
Good morning.
I've had my rant. I could do it every 5 minutes, frankly, about this Jihad Al-Shamie and the abject failures that once again have led to another killer on our streets, another terror attack. And here we are again. Do you think that it was appropriate for Palestine Action, well, there was some Palestine Action, but the pro-Palestinian marchers, do you think it was appropriate for them to go ahead with protests in train stations? Well, they say protests. I don't think they were protesting. I think they were celebrating both October the 7th, which the anniversary is, second anniversary is tomorrow, but also the attack on the synagogue and 2 Jews being dead at the end of that result of that, and 3 in hospital. I think it was a celebration of killing Jews. I think we should call it what it is and stop calling it pro-Palestinian. It's anti-Jew. It's anti-Semitic. And then they went ahead on Saturday. Please, from the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary and the Metropolitan Police Chief, please don't go ahead with your march because it's so insensitive and will cause distress. Oh, please. Oh, pretty please. They had the powers to ban those marches. They've already got them. Marches have been banned before. Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood says that she wants to give the police more powers to ban, particularly repeat marches that intimidate people. What do you make of that?
The protest gatherings, call them what you will, hate gatherings, should not have gone ahead. Absolutely shouldn't have gone ahead. To have the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary saying we would really prefer it if you didn't isn't cutting it. You need to go to the organisers and say, do not do this, otherwise we're going to have you arrested. That's what I would do, but then I'm a little bit more hardline than I think most of the Labour government are. To see them at a train station singing, dancing, flags, swastikas, just with impunity. What is the matter with these people?
Also, did you see the footage of one guy who, absolute soldier, really, walks through and says, free the hostages, got booed.
Yeah, because they don't want this war to be over, do they?
No. And this is the thing. Did you hear... I've watched a lot of the footage of people at these places and listened to reports and things. Not one chant of, calling on Hamas or one placard calling on Hamas to accept the peace deal. Right now in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh, there are peace talks right now taking place, not in the same room. Would you want to be in the same room as the people who'd massacred your people? No. The Israelis and Hamas discussing this peace deal. This 20-point plan from Donald Trump. Israel had accepted it. Hamas has said yes, but. And it was a brilliant piece, Substack, written by Andrew Fox, a regular on the show, and that analysing it. And CNN, they've said yes. And of course it will go around, well, Hamas said yes, but Israel is still bombing Gaza. No, but they haven't agreed to they've agreed to the bits they'd like. Oh, OK, we'll do that prisoner swap. So we'll get some of our mass murdering terrorists who are convicted of crimes against Israel and literally blowing up bombs on buses, school buses and in cafes. You want those people. The fact that they want those people back is a bit of a giveaway, right? And in return for which we're going to free the 20, hopefully, fingers crossed, still alive hostages held in tunnels for the last 2 years, within 72 hours of a deal being done. But when it comes to, and Hamas have to lay down their weapons and they can't be involved in any future running of Gaza, got a few buts there. They haven't agreed to the deal.
No, they haven't. And this is what amazes me, that people don't read the actual news about what is going on. They don't read what Donald Trump has put out there. This is his 20-point plan. They don't see what Israel has done because they don't care.
They've bloody well got an opinion on it, though, haven't they?
They do, but they're coming from the basis of they're just believing whichever organisation, whereas it's the Hamas Health Ministry or whichever propaganda arm.
But they don't even believe that. Hamas has said it's like, was it 65,000 people have died? I mean, about 23, 25 of those are the jihadist Hamas fighters. Pretty damn pleased. I'd celebrate with champagne every night, knowing every one of those was dead. Others actually there's about 5,000 which have died naturally, and they think quite a few thousand who've been killed by Hamas themselves. But now they're doing that. Not only do people accept this, like apparently they're all children. You never see a Hamas fighter. No, none of them have died, weirdly. But even on their own figures, you have to accept the fact, even on their own figures, more combatants have died, than Muslims. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous. I think it's 1.5 to 1, which is the lowest ratio in any war ever, given they're being used as human shields. But also, crucially, people are now showing this 680,000 figure.
Yes.
It's 680,000. I mean, basically, a third of the Gazan population has been wiped out.
But it's just sort of pick a number, any number. And
why not claim 5 million people have died in Gaza? Population 2.5 million, 5 million have died.
But you imagine...
Go on, just say it. Just make a claim. And 6 million of them are babies. And I'm not making light of innocent civilians dying, but they're just taking the mick at this point.
Well, they don't do their cause any favours, because you start looking at it and questioning absolutely everything that they're saying.
No, you do, and I do, and our sensible listeners and viewers do. But if you only see the Guardian and or the BBC, most people get their news from the BBC. If you see BBC, Sky or ITV, you haven't got a clue about any of the facts. You literally haven't been given a fact.
Yeah.
They do whole half-an-hour reports without mentioning Hamas on Gaza.
But they rely also on social media, but they only follow the accounts that...
Stop getting news from TikTok or Instagram. For the love of God, that is not a news source. Mind you, neither is the BBC anymore. So, I mean, swings around.
I was going to say maybe it's better getting it from TikTok than the BBC.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the key thing is, I mean, we're talking about, these marches. I'm less concerned about marches than I am about the people who are inspired by these marches and by the lies on the BBC and Sky and ITV and elsewhere, which say that all these children are dying, and then a man whose father called him Jihad Al-Shamie basically rams his car into a synagogue and kills people and tries to get in to kill people for the children. He was shouting for the babies, for the children, because he believes the lies that are told by people at the BBC. They have blood on their hands. The cries of genocide from the likes of, David Lammy and, the Deputy Prime Minister. These lies, these absolutely unverified, completely provably untrue lies, are why people do get radicalised like this and then go on these killing sprees. It is a miracle that only 2 people died, and sadly one of those shot by the police shooting at the killer, and they were behind the door. The police weren't to know that. I mean, but it is simply a matter. It's a miracle that we didn't see. Women and children and slaughtered. I mean, thank God for those heroic men at the synagogue holding that door closed.
And the rabbi, the rabbi that got everybody back from the door, protected the door,
absolute
and
hero.
kept calm. When you read the sort of eyewitness accounts to say how calm he was, and afterwards, through all of this horrific incident, he then went round to make sure that everybody was okay.
Yeah.
He went round just to ensure that people were safe and they felt loved. I almost cried when I read that, because I just thought, I cannot imagine being in that situation and then being so level-headed afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're a leader amongst men. I mean, really is. And it's just, but the Jewish community just so absolutely, just terrified for, and being told, we were saying earlier, being told not to congregate, and the police begging and pleading, and the Home Secretary with these marchers, please stop doing this because we have to police the marches. What with you all being anti-Semites and all, and so we can't provide security. But we shouldn't be needing to provide security. It's like, what can you... I put out a tweet last week, what can we do? Can't just tweet. What can we do to help the Jewish community in this country? And people were saying, give it, donations to the, the Community Safety Trust, provide guards, go and guard them yourself, do this, that. You know what? That's not good enough.
No.
If a particular, I know that mosques also have security, but I know there's been a terror attack and an attempt, a firebombing of the mosque, and that is awful and appalling as well. But thankfully nobody died. But you're talking about some lone nutters, okay? I mean, and we've seen they are, we have the Finsbury Park Mosque and people, lone, deranged nutters. The reality is, though, the biggest threat in this country is Islamist extremism by a long way. The vast majority of the people who have died in this country as a result of terror attacks have died as a result of an Islamist extremist. The vast majority of terror attacks are Islamist extremists. The vast majority of the people on the terrorist watch list are Islamist extremists. So let's focus our attention on the biggest threat. And here's the other key thing. When we found out this guy, Jihad Al-Shamie, named by his father, Syrian-born, his father and his mother brought him to this country after naming him Jihad. Should we have let him in? I'm wondering this. He was then given British citizenship. His father had called the October 7th attackers heroic in a public tweet. Not even embarrassed about it. It wasn't even, they were all whispering it to each other, absolutely blatantly, openly celebrating one of the most horrific massacres, the worst since the Holocaust, of Jewish people. And here's the thing. we've imported this problem. We've got our homegrown Phoebes and Tristans who have every it was the NHS flag, it's the trans flag, and now it's the Palestinian flag, and the world because of Greta and saving the world. They go with every single right on cause, whether it's swampy or they do them all, and they are believing this madness, and they are on those marches and they legitimise it, and they write about it in the Guardian, and they call people like me and you far right because we don't think it's a good idea for people to put swastikas on the Israeli flags. We're not sure that sends the right message. But the reality is this problem is something we've imported. We've imported it from countries where anti-Semitism is the norm. And if you've ever been to the Middle East, you will know that anti-Semitic views are absolutely the vast majority view of people living in those countries. It's ingrained in people. It's not just in Gaza, it's ingrained, it's imbued. And what we thought was a good idea was, let's import lots of these people and see what happens. And look at what happened. Let me just run you through various of the high-profile terror attacks. It's not all of them. It's not all of the terror attacks we've had in this country, but it's most of them. 2005, seven terror attacks on the tubes and the bus. 3 of the 4 attackers born in Pakistan. 4th born. Parents born in Pakistan, born and raised here, but to Pakistani parents. The 4th was born in Jamaica. The 2007 London-Glasgow terrorist born to parents from Iraq and India. 2013, the Lee Rigby attack in Woolwich, born to parents who were Nigerian. 2015, the attack in Leytonstone, the terror attacker born in Somalia. 2017, remember the London Bridge attack? All 3 were born in all 3 were born abroad. 1 in Pakistan, 1 we're not sure, a failed asylum seeker either from Morocco or Libya. It was never established, and 1 Moroccan Italian. The 2017 Manchester Arena attack, the terrorist, a Libyan. Parents brought to this country. 2019 London Bridge attack, parents were from Pakistan. 2020 the attack in Streatham, on the streets in Streatham, parents were from Sri Lanka. 2020 the attack in that Reading Park, the terrorist was born in Libya. 2021 the murder of the Tory MP Sir David Amess, the parents were from Somalia. 2021 the Liverpool terrorist attack, he was born in Iraq. And 2025 born abroad in Syria to Syrian parents and brought here. There's a pattern, folks. There's a pattern. We are importing terrorists to this country. We're importing people who have a hatred of our country, of the West, of our civilization, of Jews, but yes, also of Christians and atheists and anyone in the West. And we are importing them, and they are being radicalized, whether it's in the mosque or online or by their parents. Whatever it is, we are importing the problem. I wonder what we think the solution might be to that, because I think that's the territory we're in. Because as we were saying earlier, we're done with looking back, not looking back in anger, because I've been looking back in anger since 2005. I should continue to look back in anger. I would like to look forward with hope. But we're done with lighting candles and singing Kumbaya. It's time for action. I'd love to hear your thoughts.